Hey everybody, clearing. Okay, so today we are going to dive into a counterparts reading. So I'm just going to do a bit differently. I wasn't prepared because this is a new kind of a thing. So I'm going to use the Starseed Oracle and get the usual reading through the divine perspective. So what is it, divine creator, that we're being asked to look at as a collective? Divine guidance about union. First split there. So thank you, divine creator. What is it that we are meant to see in the twin collective at this time for what is the best use of our brain power to be focusing on? The alignments of our hearts. What should we be focusing on manifesting at this time? What actions are most beneficial to be taking at this time? What are the challenges that are most appropriate to be looking at and the solutions for those challenges? What is the direction the connections are going towards, with all things considered on the multiverse dimensions? I'm going to also pull cards to see how is what we are going to see from the divine perspective, how is it being experienced by the counterparts in the 3D and in the energetic realms? And then I'm also going to get a feminine and masculine card for each of those things. So bear with me. It's quite a few decks here. I just like to shuffle on camera, but it takes me a bit of time. So the masculine deck next. So I have 5 decks that we're going to look at. I do want to say also I have opened more sessions for November, so if you would love a session, grab one before they're gone. Okay, so first card, what shall we be thinking about? Seeker of Crystals, this is kindness. This is small points of contact. I'm also getting that this is like reaching out, communication, touching base, wondering what's up. On the mundane level, we have patience. I accept that everything happens in divine order. Okay, that's beautiful because, you know, oftentimes with communication on this journey, we'll think there's a strategy, there's a logical way to navigate it, there's a right and wrong way of communicating, or I have to wait for my counterpart to reach out, or I have to be the one that messages. It's not a logical thing. It's definitely intuitive, and it's learning to drop into that kind of a sensitive, subtle navigation. We may not always get positive results, and that can give us some feedback as to our alignment. When we get the runner-chaser, for instance, the chaser is usually expressing in a way that is not sensitive to the energies. The runner is not interested in connecting on the same wavelength that the chaser is on. Usually it's because there's some imbalance in the chaser, the way the chaser is expressing. And so communication itself is not the runner-chaser dynamic, or if you're the one that's always reaching out, that does not mean that you're the chaser. Sometimes communication takes a lopsided, it looks lopsided, but that doesn't necessarily hold true if we factor in the meta energies. So sometimes it can look lopsided, but there's really an energetic conduit. Sometimes it looks balanced, but that's only for show. So there are very many considerations, and this journey really brings us into the conscious mastery to be able to discern when something is happening in divine order or not. So taking the analytical stuff out of it, communication through kindness is truly when it's heartfelt, sincere, authentic, spontaneous, warranted. I'm hearing so many things like a need to know basis, an update, or a genuine expression of authentic care, love, but not with an agenda. When our counterpart reaches out to us, it's always appropriate to ask for higher interpretation of what it is coming towards us. You can tend to sense the frequency, the energy that a message or an offer comes to us through in the 5D or the 3D. And then it's always beneficial to run it through a higher guidance system regarding how to respond. So yeah, there does seem to be this ebb and flow and natural alignment with divine timing here. So the divine is kind of, the universe is kind of showing us here, take it on a case-by-case basis. Follow your heart's knowing always. These journeys are bringing us back into that level of alignment and that way of living. There are no rights and wrongs. As far as a theory or a strategy, it's always what is appropriate by your heart in the moment. Okay, energetically, seal of Venus, elemental magic, self-love, and protection. So yeah, communication, when it's coming from you, viewer, it needs to be calibrated with impeccable self-love on these journeys, because if you are approaching your twin in anything other than that harmony, that balance of self-love, you're going to get a different result than what you think you want. Let's see what it is for the feminine regarding this theme at this time. Okay, 5 of Wands. So there are a lot of energies around the divine feminines right now. Peace, calla lilies in the middle here represent peace in the midst of all of these swirling energies, all of the external, all of the extra. So divine feminines right now, pay attention to communication with everybody, with many options, possibly lots of people being involved. You fill in the blanks with who those might be, but drop into peace. Only you know how interactions and communication affect you or not. Be very honest with yourself. I'm being drawn to this Kundalini river of energy here. Only you know how to keep that aliveness, that conduit pure within you. Only you know when something goes against your intuitive, better judgment or aligns with it. Divine masculines, we get the Justice card in the reverse. So this can be you being too rigid, divine masculines, about the analytical assessment of communication or not. You might be holding or in a holding pattern, withholding communication from your divine feminine. That can be appropriate sometimes, but it can also outlive its purpose. So divine masculines are being very you're being guided into looking at whether or not withholding communication is appropriate at this stage of the game, or if it's outlived its purpose. Okay, what are the counterparts being asked to feel in the heart space? Seeker of Flames, this is coming before the altar, laying down the burden, seeking, asking for divine understanding. Honesty, we get, I can't always expect the truth from others, but I can expect it from myself. So I'm really being told, divine counterparts, go before your connection with Source, God, Creator, the universe, and ask to be shown your truth. Drop into your heart with all of your heart and ask to be shown. What is your God's honest truth, I'm hearing? It does not matter what others say, do, project. What really matters is how you feel, what you feel led to do, what is the truth for you, and what you choose to do about that truth. Energetically speaking, Merkaba matrix, light body expansion, illuminated presence. Exactly. When you attune to the truth written on your heart, you bring that light into the world, and that is a potent thing that cannot be denied. Now, that does not mean pushing an agenda into the world that others need to obey or follow or align with. That is manipulation. This is about you knowing your truth and being able to be self-sustained in it, that it does not depend on others agreeing with you or not, that you're not expecting or demanding or eliciting a response from them, that you are really utilizing your soul's truth, your heart's truth, to just be in full permission of who you are from that very loving place. There's a deep sense of surrender and allowing and acceptance in that motion. It is not a boastful thing. What are the feminines meant to see about this kind of humble honesty? Six of Wands in the reverse. This is a card of public recognition. So this is a message saying, divine feminines, that message about love being boastful. Your twin connection or any romantic relationship does not have to be a showy thing in public. It is not for that image. It's not so you can say that you have been chosen. It's not so that you can say that you have won the lottery of love. Really take a moment, divine feminines, and drop into what does really matter about connection. Is it for show, or is it this energetic truth on your heart? It's so much more important that you know and recognize the love. In many ways, a secret love can be a pristine pleasure. That can also be extreme and a coveting motion. So it's about really feeling on the heart space the honest truth, which is balanced, appropriate, wise. What can we see for the masculines? We get the card of friendship, Three of Cups. In the inverse, divine masculines are really searching their souls right now to understand if they are being a good friend, an accommodating energy, a wise energy, a balanced energy. We can show up for others without fearing the loss of freedom when we know where we stand. So divine masculines are very much, I just heard uprooting guilt and shame about false promises, innuendos, secrecy. This is the sneaky, shady energy being expelled. Divine masculines are really searching their hearts so that they're not fake anymore. Good job, divine masculines. Getting real about that so that you're not pretending. Divine masculines are not pretending anymore. That dims my light, I just heard. What can we see for the manifestations? Reunion. The divine is saying, set your sights on reunion, on closeness, on unity, on dropping all of the extra energies that keep people apart from connecting with people that they share true connection with. The operative word being true, honest connection with. Just because it's somebody's truth that they really, 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 really like somebody does not mean that it's a shared and mutual thing. This is saying we should desire to connect with those that share a mutual connection with us. Change. I understand that nothing can grow or evolve without movement. Okay, so this means desiring true connection wherever that is to be found, and that the change is from thinking of it as a limited resource to being more abundant and being open to mutual connection and unity consciousness 360, not just in a fixated particular way. When we take the specialness off of something, we tend to loosen our grip and have more fun and be more relaxed and allow the energy to feel lighter. So it's not saying we should be with multiple people or force ourselves to be with people that aren't our person, our twin. No, it just means being open to things, to the spaciousness, for the progress, for the movement to come in. On the energetic levels, what can we see? The heart is awake, love, innocence, and reverence. This context gives us the ability to revere everything better. When we are fixated on something being on a pedestal, we're not actually seeing that thing for what it is. When we allow for growth, movement, when we stop assuming something is a certain way and we expand to include more of a holistic picture, then we see things in the mosaic of life. And we're not hanging on to so much the defining stories, the peak experiences, the traumas. We're letting that go. And we're seeing the kaleidoscope, the movement, the innocence, the moment. And we're becoming comfortable with change and allowing things to move through our perception without hanging on and coveting or defining ourselves and ego aligning with those things. We're allowing for bliss and beauty and rawness and honesty and the whole spectrum of things to be there as warranted in every moment. What are the feminines being asked to consider? The Fool in the reverse talks about possibly not being quite there yet to completely let go to that degree that allows for any potentiality to arise that might be best in any given moment, might be most life-affirming, in other words. So divine feminines, there's an invitation here to let go of the idea that you have to have romantic relationship with your twin, and to stay open to enjoying any interaction you may have with them without an agenda. But this is also something that you're being asked to come into such a presence that you fully show up in every moment with what is going on in each moment, and that river of life pulls you through experience after experience in flow. Letting go of needing to know where things are going or how it will play out, but dropping into the heart. How do I feel about this that I'm experiencing now? And what does that tell me that I should do in this moment regarding what I'm experiencing now? What does the masculine strength, ego, In the reverse, it's humility. So divine masculines, there is a growing reverence, and I'm seeing those holy sacred tears softly streaming down the masculines' faces again. Just the beauty of connecting with divine feminine energy that does not have an agenda. There's a safety growing here for the masculines because there is no performance anxiety. It is just what it is, and they can relax and be themselves without feeling that they are being ridiculed or on stage. Divine masculines, you are working on embodying presence as well, and showing up in each moment with the energy that's there, trusting that there is a spectrum of energy, that not everything is created equal, in that not everything is interchangeable, the same, and that there are various energies, and that you're allowed to have a preference, and that you can begin to go towards more of your preference without guilt and shame. You don't have to be God's gift to everyone and everything and carry that cross anymore, divine masculines. I am getting with this change card, masculines, that there may be certain expected ways you've been navigating in friend groups, in families, in karmic relationships, that you've been showing up out of duty. There's another layer of relinquishing the duty and seeing everybody as accountable for their own choices, and that you don't have to carry the choices of others, and therefore you don't need to give your karma to others. This is interesting because in these lopsided connections, sometimes divine masculines, no action, no communication, no forward movement is sometimes inadvertently requiring the feminine to become more masculine and compensate. So that balancing is coming back into your court, divine masculines. Non-action, non-communication is a choice, and you're learning the inner workings of that. I want to put in a disclaimer that these are not typical relationships where people play dastardly games and try to manipulate consciously to toy with people. These are sincere divine masculines who are authentically wanting to do the right thing and show up in ways that they have felt ill-equipped, because we're all learning energy. We have to be very discerning to know the difference between when somebody is malicious and when somebody is just trying to do their best and wanting to figure out what that needs to look like. So please be discerning in your situations to be able to tell the difference, because one is karmic and one is divine. What can we see for the actions twins can be taking at this time? This is the been there, done that card. This is the all perceiving, the enlightenment, the knowledge, firsthand experience of what acceptance. I'm learning to accept the things I cannot change. So we got change, and now we got the accepting the things we cannot change. Change is inevitable. And we do have free will to some degree, but the things that are outside of our free will, like whether somebody is ready to come forward, whether somebody shares our feelings mutually, whether we don't have all the answers and we just have to keep going in our own right and allow for things to unfold naturally. It is about acceptance. The things that we can affect, that's within our free will choice to do so. But the things that we cannot change, that's also a high-level discernment of duality, because sometimes ego says, oh, it's no use, it's no hope, I'm hopeless, I'm powerless here in this situation. That can indicate we just don't have the skills, which I just touched on with the possibility that the divine masculines haven't known how to communicate in times of stress or uncharted territory. That goes for both here as well, that sometimes it's subjective. Sometimes we just haven't experienced a certain thing, and so we think we can't change it. And then sometimes there are very clear indicators that something is not within our karmic bucket, so to speak, that it's not our free will accountable choice to be able to make that. If we're trespassing on someone else's free will and telling them how they should live their life or what they should think or how they should do things differently, that is something that's not beneficial for us to be trying to change in someone else. That's for them to come to it if and when they feel that is right for their lives. And so there's a letting go of needing the other person to be different. The masculine and feminine see the world in similar ways as humans, but in different ways from the two polarities. And so there is, in this meeting space, a pretty big acknowledgement that we've seen the spectrum now in these connections, or that it is available for us to really witness the ways of the masculine and feminine, and to be able to work with it, but also to work independently regardless of the other one's position or choices in life or lessons they're learning or navigating. Oh, I got 2 cards. Now we got duality, contrast, trust and balance, and cosmic heritage, galactic remembrance. So there is a more cosmic, bigger picture coming in regarding trusting the process, but also a bigger vantage point as we harmonize the masculine and feminine into unity here. I've often said that as the big picture keeps getting bigger, we jump to that next valence jump that harmonizes each pair of dualities at each level. So when this and that are no longer at odds, we've seen the bigger picture that harmonizes and gives space for both valid perceptions to coexist. The masculine and feminine harmonizing here, this is cool. We've got the 2 and the 22 card. We're getting the duality of the feminine and masculine as a this and that are true, and we're jumping to a cosmic perspective that allows for both to coexist as a whole. So it's not that we're the other half, but there is a holistic approach that we can then use to work with the strong suits, to see through the shortcomings, meaning the beneficial or life-affirming energies, the aliveness, or the death energies, the lower vibrational things, the self-annihilating things. As masculine and feminines, we can team up on sorting and rising together into this cosmic heritage where we're no longer in segregation, prejudice against the other, in competition, in limbo. What can we see for the feminines regarding this? The Nine of Pentacles, holding your own divine feminines, coming into wholeness. What do we get for the masculines? Progress, mindset shift. Feminines are not needing to be protected and cared for by the external. Masculine, and masculines, the pressure is coming off to be the be-all end-all for the feminine. Everybody's coming into more of a balance and a mutual desire to play and brainstorm and innovate and meet in the strong suits and the triumphs of each, rather than make it a power hierarchy. What can we see for the biggest challenge for the collective at this time? Not knowing what the future holds. Failure. I understand that a mistake is only an opportunity to learn. So we are looking at the ways of the past that haven't served, and we are looking to the future bravely, because we don't know what will come in this uncharted territory, but we're keeping our thoughts light and airy and our faces to the true north. I'm hearing energetically. Oh, I got two more again. Light body activator, luminosity, empowerment, forward motion, and storage, time, release, and focus force. I'm really getting that this is the time on the planet that has been predestined for this ascension, for this global motion into unity consciousness. All of us change makers are ultimately here to contribute at this time on the planet. This is the lifetime that all souls have signed up for to be here. This is the most surreal, magnificent, majestic lifetime. We're never going to go from the 3D to the 5D, from the segregation to the unity consciousness like this time on the planet. This is our time to do it. And it has been a time capsule preordained to happen, and it is moving forward. How are the feminines being asked to be forward thinking? Knight of Cups, go forth with love. Masculines, this is the twin flame mission. So I'm getting the Two of Wands here as the Two of Flames, and even masculines, if you feel like you're kind of simultaneously or at a distance or maybe not even in communication, there is this joint effort. It's going towards the same goal. So divine feminines also realize it's a tandem effort, even if it's not fully consciously recognized. There are so many things going on in this journey that augment and offset and inspire and stimulate the counterparts in only the ways that soul connection can do. That also, when you start looking at that bit of connection between twins, that is in karmic situations and soulmate situations and family constellations and communities. If you take your eyes up off of just the twin dynamic, you see this kind of symbiotic dance everywhere. It's holistic, it's unified. What is the solution to the uncharted territory? Love. Oh, that's so sweet. So judgment we get. I understand that everyone has their unique path and challenges. Yes, to love each other is to honor the sovereignty of each individual. These connections of unconditional love really allow us to empathize and to adore the plight of our fellow human in our counterpart. Where else do we get such an intimate glimpse into the soul of another than these rare connections that we would dub twin flame? But all people, when we have eyes to see, we see their resilience, their tenacity, their drive, their desire to live, to find love, to solve the problems, to experience joy. Everybody has their stuff. This is really bringing in this idea of encouragement and celebration, and we get the simple truth, bioluminescence, self-illumination, simplicity. It's that simple. We should all be cheering all of us on in our unique ways and the different creative expressions that we use. And gate of returning, entrance, death, rebirth, passage. There are cycles upon cycles. Everything, the wheels of time, the sharpening stone, all of it. What goes around comes around. There's this simple truth that it all works together and it's in perpetual motion. There's nowhere to go, nowhere we've come from. It's all now. It gets kind of wobbly goop, but it's valid. Divine Feminines, Three of Pentacles dropping into more than meets the eye, seeing energy in very pure fundamental ways right now. And Divine Masculines, Two of Coins. This is the ascended butterfly and the balance. In many ways we have 2 coins there and 2 coins there and a third object, the butterfly, and this third energy created with these dynamics. So both of these cards are talking about more than meets the eye with these ascended, deeper, loftier interpretations of reality. This is aligning with the eternal. This is focusing on what really matters. Keep it simple. The more spiritual we become, the more practical, grounded, available, present we are. It's a bit of a paradox. It's not a woo-woo lofty thing. For those who have eyes to see and ears to hear, advanced spirituality is love. It's immediate and it's now. What is the direction of these connections? Tower, major foundational changes. Wow, grief. I understand that losing something is an opportunity to appreciate it. I just heard that a lot of changes happened over these eclipses, and there are many more changes coming by the end of the year. Things that suddenly leave our lives out of nowhere. Unexpressed pain from years ago coming up to be cleared. Lifelong trauma, purgatory. We're going through a huge release of all of the things that don't serve, of all of the things that we've stuffed down, of all of the things that we thought we dealt with. If it's coming up right now, it's not coming up to harm you or to haunt you. It's coming up to be released. If you're observing it, that's just what happens when it's moving out. We notice it. It's like somebody walking out a door. You notice them walk out that door. It's the same thing as the grief right now. Everybody just allow the grief to go out the door. Open your heart's door. Allow the grief to walk right out. Right now, the grief is walking out the door. This is what's keeping the counterparts from being present with love and having this sacral root chakra connection. This fire right now is burning the pathway that allows grief to leave the building and connection and truth to remain. We get sophistication, ingenuity, originality, and elegance here. So this is bringing in the nuance, the finesse, the subtle, the pristine, the precise connection that is a fine art, an elegant, a sophisticated thing. When the grief is gone, we can meet in the filigree. What is the feminine? Four of Cups, the unconditional love that has grown through the missed opportunities, the things that haven't panned out, the things that didn't work out yet or at all. It has created this incredible alignment and a huge amount of love and compassion in you, Divine Feminines. That is a good thing. Don't beat yourself up for having become love. And Divine Masculines, you're seeing the way through. Here's the eclipse again. So this is showing up in that you're moving past where you thought you would ever get to. I'm getting that divine masculines, as this grief is coming up to be released, the pretense, the fake, the mask is dropping. There's a way through at this time in your lives that you did not see coming, that has given way to a ray of hope coming in, and you're going through that passage at this time. But it has to do with everyone releasing the grief, the misconception, the illusion. I'm getting that as we become multidimensional, linear time is shifting, and part of our experience of releasing grief and getting comfortable with change. This reading is talking about the inner working of going with the flow, and I'm being told that that has to do with the release of linear time, so that we are no longer in a cause and effect paradigm, that we are more in that holistic overview, big picture, harmonizing, accepting aspect. Okay, I'm gonna leave that there. Nope, I'm being told to get one more card. What is it we can see for the collective? Oh, the journey. All right, what a gorgeous card. Number 29. We got so many over there too. We got the beloved from the other day, but I'm not gonna read 25 cards that have come into the future. But I guess the journey's not over, because there are all these cards. The middle world, the arrow, the corn, the beloved. Those are all going to be in the future, but the journey, 29. So we're learning to really align with the journey, flowing through the changes. The journey is an invitation to step outside the boundaries of your life as you know it. The journey is not a holiday. It is a call to be hermit-like and to go on the pilgrimage into the unknown. There are no maps to the territory you will be exploring, no marked paths or road signs. The time to embark on the great journey is here. Do not linger in the port with distant shores calling. Fearlessly draw your own navigation charts as you discover the route. When the time is right, it is now. You will be led true. Even when you are not sure of where you're going, it is the departure that's the most important. If you miss the boat, a great opportunity will be lost, and another ship may not arrive for a very long time. That is not to say these unions will be missed, because I can hear some people saying that's what missing the boat means to them. But in this, missing the boat literally means do not say no to your own aliveness and what you are being called to do in your own right. Do not wait for your twin to begin your life when they come in and accept you as a romantic partner. Live your life as fully and beautifully as you can now in your own right, aligning with the things that your heart is telling you to do as a sovereign being. That's going to bring you into alignment with everything meant for you, more so than anything else you could do in your life. Okay, many blessings. Bye for now.